Your engine bay is the life of your car, and keeping it clean is a part of ownership. It's easy to let all that dirt and grime build up over time, so in this video I'll show you the process of keeping your engine bay clean, what products I use, and how I dress it up. By the end of this video, you'll feel confident in tackling cleaning your engine at home in just a few simple steps. I haven't washed my engine bay in over a year, and it's not that bad, so what I start off with is prep. For prep, I use a blower to blow out all the dust and all the stuff that's stuck up in the engine. You can use a handheld leaf blower, but I find that using a small dryer is much easier to get up in the small areas of the engine bay and blow out stuff very closely. Next, it's time for a rinse down. So you don't have to use a power washer, but I have one, so I use mine. I use a 40-degree tip, and this is important because it spreads the spray over a larger area versus a lower degree nozzle, which is much more narrow and applies a lot more pressure. The pressure washer I use is 2700 psi. It's a little on the high side, and it's better to use something around 1900, 2300, but because I'm using a 40-degree nozzle and I'm staying farther away from the engine, I keep it safe. Because my car is newer, I don't wrap up the alternator, and all the electronics are sealed up very well. It's always safe to stay at least 12 inches away from the engine, especially electronics, and never spray the alternator directly. Next up, it's time to degrease the entire engine bay. I use Ammo Titan 12 degreaser. It's called 12 because it has a pH level of 12. The higher the pH level, the more it'll break down oil and grease in your engine. So I typically work in sections, and I'll start from the outside in. Once I have a section sprayed, I'll use a set of brushes to agitate and also get all the tight and small areas that I normally couldn't get. For the hard to reach areas, I have a set of dedicated woolies. Once I'm done with the section I'm working on, I go ahead and rinse all of it down. I work in sections because it won't allow the product to dry, and you don't want any degrease to dry while you're working. Out. I give the engine bay one final rinse, and then it's time to dry it off. The handheld dryer I use is absolutely amazing. It gets the water out all the tight spots, and it also blows warm air so it dries it at the same time. It's extremely quick and efficient to use one of these handheld air dryers, and it also leaves no streaks. And then it's time for the final step, the detail. I use Chemical Guy's VRP for all the rubber and plastics inside the engine bay. I use VRP because it's safe for all the rubber hoses inside the bay because it's a water-based dressing. For larger areas, I use a pad, but then I go back to my brushes and use a brush to get all the hoses in small, hard-to-reach areas. So I apply it to everything in the bay, and then I'll go back over it with a towel to remove any extra so that way it's not super greasy. When you start applying the dressing, you'll notice immediately a deep black shine, and it is so satisfying to watch it come to life. For the metal parts in the area, I'll use Chemical Guy's Butter Wet Wax to give it a little shine. And that's a wrap on the engine bay. It takes me on average about 1, sometimes 2 hours to do a full engine detail. If the engine bay is dirtier, I'll do multiple passes of the degreaser just to get all that dirt and grime out, and that always extends the time. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, be sure to throw them in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.